be strong in this time, son. I'm a survivor. I will survive. I will survive. And I'm a firm believer. We'll forever shine just to stay alive. That simple means it. Nobody can hold me on. Nobody can hold my energy. Nobody can hold me sick. I will not allow negativity. Nobody can hold me on. Nobody can drain my energy. Nobody can. Nobody can. Everybody show me some strength. No weakness. Show me a lion. No, put it up. Put it up. Strength. No weakness. Show them who we are. Put it up. Put it up. Strength. No weakness. Show me a lion. No, put it up. Everybody strength. No weakness. Show them who we are. Not when you're old. Your enemies, they must tremble. Your enemies, they must tremble. Yo, not when you're old. Everything has to humble. Everything has to humble. I'm a go-getter. I just go hard. I just go hard. And I'm a kind of fellow. What am I just saying?
Feeling hungry, grab a snack. Caribbean food delight. Jamaican patties, light and flaky. Caribbean food delight. Taste the difference. Caribbean food delight. Grab a patty, take a bite. Caribbean food delight. Quick and easy, grab a patty, take a bite. Caribbean food delight.
Oh, yeah.
Democrat.
Yeah. You gotta be firm in this time, son.
Hey!
You gotta be strong in this time, son. I'm a survivor.
It's Thursday on the ride, on the ride. I'm sandwich in between two ladies. I'm like, yeah, I want to fit right in the middle, like
Nobody control my energy.
What's up, ladies? How are you doing?
Doing well.
You know I'm the better dancer, Junior. Remember we had the dance off and I won.
Oh Lord, here we go again.
I won the dance off.
Here we go again.
Hello, Mavis Joe. Happy belated Mavis. Happy belated birthday to you.
Let me tell you, Mavis. Yesterday I heard Mavis went and get a whole swallow date and spa and all kind of.
What?
She's living the life. She's living the life. Mavis living the life. Unlike us.
Happy birthday.
Happy belated birthday.
She said she's still celebrating and accepting gifts. Put in a cash up, Mavis.
Mavis,
she's rejuvenated. I love it.
I know where you live. I know where you live, Mavis. So how you doing, Attorney Lacroix? How are you today?
I am doing well. I'm feeling good after some good immigration news, that we got this week. I'm doing really well. Thank you.
Yeah. And fun day. It's always a fun day. Thursday is a fun day.
Well, I was Wednesday fun day. What am I now that we're on Thursdays?
I'll think of something.
Thank you.
I'll think of something.
I appreciate that.
Always
good evening, Tamoy. It's been a good week, I think, for immigration. All things considered, it has been a good week.
I got you. Guys, listen, as you come and go ahead and share the program, Diane Funday and Lacroix, share it, start a watch party, invite all your friends to watch it, because today we have some money talk, BS walk, money talk, BS walk. That's what we're going to talk about today. Today is very, very important. It's about moolah. It's about your pocket. And we have to like that. If you don't like nothing else, you have to like what we're going to talk about today. Right, Funde? They have to.
Junior, how are you, Junior?
Oh, thanks. I'm happy that you asked.
How are you, my friend?
I'm doing great. I'm excellent. I'm doing my damn thing.
Because, you're the anchor of all this. Like, if you're not here, this isn't the same. So
don't even go there. Because last time I was here, Last week I was not here, by the way, and everything happened like normal. Like who's Junior? Like what? Junior who?
You know, without you, Junior, this show, without you, we're nothing. I don't listen.
You women have a way with words. Without you, you nothing.
We're nothing without you, Junior. So we really appreciate you.
All right. I'll take it.
Hey, Nikisha. Hey, Joyous. Hey, Doug. Doug, how are you?
Where are these people from?
Things looking good.
Where are these people from? I'm seeing names popping up. I don't see no flags. Where are the
flags? They're all from Jamaica.
Let's see.
Let's
see where everybody's from.
Yeah, I want to see where these people are from. I want to see where Natasha, guys. Everybody put up all your flag. Everybody put up all your flag right now. Let me see where all you're from.
Oh, hey, Carrie Ann. Oh, my friend joined.
Hey, Carrie Ann. Is Carrie Ann from Haiti?
No, she's one of my best friends.
Carrie Ann, wow, nice name. I used to have a girlfriend crush in high school named Carrie Ann.
She put up the American flag.
The American flag. Okay, welcome, Carrie Ann.
Okay, Carrie. Where are you from?
Canada.
Where are you from? Canada? Where Canada? Canada. Oh,
Charlotte's there.
Charlotte, big up yourself, Charlotte. Thank you so much, the folks in Canada. Whereas we have Jackie Chaitan. I know where Jackie Chaitan live, by the way. She's right here in New York. Whereas look at Grenada. Look at Grenada. Greens in the building.
You missed Tamoy Borland from Jamaica.
Hey, Funday.
Wait, I didn't share the program yet. Wait, let me share it to my page.
Sorry. I realize you come like you missed her from Jamaica.
You missed Tamoy Borland from Jamaica. I'm sorry.
It wasn't purposely done, okay?
Let me share.
Yes. Look. Fly the Grenada flag. The most beautifulest.
The most beautifulest.
I'm waiting for a Haitian flag or something.
Any Haitian? Anybody?
South Africa,
Haiti. Somebody just
no Haiti.
They have to be someone from Haiti there because all I seen is Grenada, red, green, and yellow. That's all I see. That's all I'm seeing. Where are you guys?
Right, I shared.
You share?
I shared. Miriam, do you know how to share it to your page?
Yep, I shared it already.
You shared it? All right, I shared it to mine.
You see, she shared it to her page and only Grenadian came over from her page. What that tells you. All right, guys, listen. Today, I don't want to take up a lot of time because we have so much stuff to discuss here, guys. And if you, the folks that's watching right now, if you are concerned, if you are a loving person, if you have a friend that's an immigrant, that's undocumented, that has any immigration issues right now, I want you to tag them. I want you to tag them right now. So just tag that friend right now because this program is created for them, especially the one today. So I'll give all you a minute again. Tag all your friend because we're about to start this. Hey, London, Lucille Pascal from London. Big up yourself. Big up, Lucille.
Hey, Lucille.
Right. I think, okay. Salian, Maria, everybody. All right, guys. Let's get into the program because I have a feeling that we're going to go a little bit over time today. All right. First thing first, Diana Winter Fun Day. Doug, big up yourself. We saw just a few hours ago, President Joe Biden signed the enormous $1.9 trillion with a T. After trillion, what was it? Like a gazillion? I don't know what comes after.
How many zeros are we talking about?
That's a lot of money.
Is it
too
9?
many to count?
A lot.
Is it 9?
I don't know. I can't even
I don't know either.
But $1.9 trillion. And the big story behind this is direct check payments would be sending out to your bank account by some people going to start getting it by this weekend, by tomorrow, by Saturday. So
okay.
I was watching CNN today. They said some people would start receiving direct payment as soon as this weekend.
Yes, that's good.
That is freaking amazing. So the question is, what are getting? How much are getting? Why it look like? Why is it seen? Why is it deal? Why is it seen? So we have this two attorneys to talk to us, and also the controversy. If you're undocumented, does that mean you're getting money as well? Well, I got a chance to watch a clip, and I want to play it, and then we'll talk about it with our attorney of a conversation with Ted Cruz in Congress. Check this out, and we'll talk about it on the other side.
Democrats in this chamber just voted to send $1,400 stimulus checks to murderers, to rapists, and child molesters incarcerated in prison. This amendment, just like the one we just voted on that Senator Cassidy and I introduced, this amendment before us today provides that the stimulus check should not go to illegal aliens in this country. The question for the American people to answer is, should taxpayer money be sent $1,400 to every illegal alien in America? This amendment provides that it should not, that stimulus checks should only go to American citizens or to people lawfully present. Now, the Democrats may say their language allows for that, but they know that the IRS treats someone who was illegally present in the United States for 31 days last year as a resident alien. And so this corrects that and ensures that illegal aliens are not eligible for taxpayer-funded stimulus checks.
The senator for Illinois.
Mr. President, the statement of the senator from Texas is just plain false. False. Let me be clear. Undocumented immigrants do not have Social Security numbers, and they do not qualify for stimulus relief checks, period. And just in case you didn't notice, they didn't qualify in December when 92 of us voted for that measure, and they don't qualify under the American Rescue Plan. Nothing has changed. And for you to stand up there and say the opposite is just to rile people up over something that's not true.
Will the senator yield for a question?
No, I won't. It is not true. And we know what's going on here. They want to be able to give speeches to say the checks go to undocumented people. In the circumstance where there is a parent receiving a check for the child, that's it. But no money going to undocumented people under the American Rescue Plan.
Let me first say that Ted Cruz is not my favorite guy. In fact, lying Ted Cruz is one of my least favorite politicians. I hate that. Well, hate is a strong word. I dislike this man, right? So let's look on what he's saying in terms of the merit, right? Out of the $1.9 trillion that the president signed into law today, does it have any allocation for undocumented immigrant to receive checks?
And Junior, I'm glad you corrected Mr. Cruz's rhetoric of calling people illegal aliens. In the Biden bill, it's now undocumented citizens. So I would love to kind of give Mr. Ted Cruz a piece of my mind. I think anything that happens in this country, we're going to blame undocumented individuals. Certainly to some extent, if you're in the country and you're undocumented, chances are you might be getting a check. If you've once held a Social Security number, or if you've filed taxes with the IRS, there's a strong possibility you will be getting a check. And the only part of Mr. Cruz's rhetoric that I think it's blabberish. So it's like literally $1,400, right? $1,400. And Mr. Cruz is not talking about the billions that's allocated in this bill that will go to other individuals. For example, there's money allotted for K through 12 education. There's money allotted to vaccine distribution in the billions, by the way. So I think his rhetoric is harmful and it's deliberate, and it's all he's doing is just spreading this really false light on undocumented individuals when he says it's going to rapists and murderers. I mean, you can be documented and be a rapist and a murderer too. So I think it's really harmful rhetoric. And I hope the Republican Party is watching, because no Republican senator or no Republican candidate voted for this bill. They all voted against this bill, and their constituencies are the ones that are suffering.
And the constituents are some of the people who needs this the most.
Who needs this money the most, undocumented or not? Undocumented or not, they need the money.
Like what you have to say about what
You know,
the rhetoric that Texas?
he is discounting the millions or the millions of undocumented immigrants that work every day, just like those who are citizens, those who are permanent residents or green card holders, right? And so I think the point of this is to do exactly what Trump did during his administration, which is to play on the prejudices of this country, and the prejudices that this country has about immigrants, right? They don't pay taxes. Immigrants are stealing our jobs. Immigrants are criminals. And we know that those are false things. And so he's playing on that negative rhetoric to appeal to people who believe those things. And so this is nothing new. This is something we've been used to for the past 4 years. And it's really about time that we change the way this country views immigrants.
Yeah, and he purposely used the term illegal alien, and he used it in that
That
kind
was
of condescending kind of way.
It was intentional, Junior. It was absolutely, because he knows that's one of the languages that under the proposed Biden bill, that's one of the things they're changing, is that we're not referring to individuals as illegal aliens, right? They're changing. Right. It's now undocumented citizen. And I think he went out of his way to blatantly, and I hope they vote him out. I hope they vote him out, Junior.
Yeah,
he went out of his way to refer. Yeah, I hope they vote him out.
Yeah, and let me tell you, as I said, that's my least favorite politician. Lying Ted Cruz. I never liked him during the primaries when he was against Trump either. I never liked him after. I just never liked this guy. He's a lying SOB, and I'm sorry. I don't like how we use that illegal alien in a condescending way to make it look like as if immigrants are the people that rape that are rapists and no. So that's a no for now, and we need to seek more clarification and information on it. But let's get deeper into that bill. What does that bill actually do, Funde? If you could give us some information, some insight.
All right. So for the stimulus, and I have my notes, for the stimulus, right? So if you are making, I'm just checking my notes, if you're making $75,000, under $75,000, you will be getting a direct cash payment of $1,400. And that is for each child within your household, right? So, a family of 5 could get a little bit over $6,000-$7,000.
Yeah.
Which I think is low. I think families should be getting in the $12,000-$13,000 ranges when we do the math on the amount of money where some of this money is being allocated. So, Junior, in order to get this bill passed, it's filled with what we call a lot of pork barrel spending. So a lot of things that are, because this is a COVID bill.
Right.
And when you look at some of the things that are stuffed in this bill and the president, I guess he had to do what he had to do in order to get the bill passed. So, each family, if you're making under $75,000, you'll get $1,400. For married couple, they raised the cap to $150,000. And it will begin hitting bank accounts this weekend. So money. So for all those family members, this will prove useful. For those individuals making less than $80,000 or married couples making $160,000, those checks will get a little bit smaller. The child tax credit is currently at $2,000. So for your taxes, it will go up to $3,600. So those are some things that we see in the bill. Vaccines, funerals, farmers, and food, $14 billion for those individuals if you're a farmer. There's also disaster-related funeral expenses that are connected to this bill. Even Amtrak got money. $22 billion in rental assistance, $10 billion to help homeowners pay mortgages, $10 billion. So does that mean as a homeowner, they're going to pay my mortgage?
Well, you see, I think that a lot of people, if you look at the,
And
if
he's
you look at
talking
the
about
people that
14, and he's
affected,
talking about $1,400, Junior.
yeah, but what I think that what I like about this bill is it directly, in a lot of ways, it directly deals with the problem and issues that a lot of people have been having within this past year. Today marked the date to date one entire year since the U.S. Claimed that the COVID was a pandemic. So for
Right.
an entire year, we have been going through this. People were unable to pay their rent. People are unable to do so many things. People lost loved ones. People lost breadwinners of their family.
Yeah.
And this bill sort of, assisted in some kind of way. I mean, everybody gonna say, oh, well, it should have been more. But one of the things, again, that which I like about this bill is that it extend the unemployment, and not just unemployment for regular people. When I say regular people, like regular jobs, right? They are people that are gig workers, like Uber drivers and other people in those situations. They also get unemployment checks as well. Up to additional 300 from the federal from the feds per week,
Right.
and that is
Right.
consistent. They expanded that to September 26th. So it's not only the $1,400 is weekly payments of unemployment for people who drive Uber, Lyft, and gig workers, people who's not employed, who are 1099. In other words, they also get money extended, so which I think is great. Well, Lako, what do you think about the $1.9 trillion bill?
I think it's great. And touching on something that you've already said, it's helping people who, well, as much as it can, I guess, helping people who have been really affected by this pandemic. And so I know that, renters, for example, if they've lost their job, they're unable to pay their rent. And so I know in New York, Governor Cuomo has a moratorium that says, if you can't pay your rent, you can't be evicted, you can't be penalized. But then what about the homeowners, right?
Yeah.
And so the fact that this bill has something for homeowners, maybe not all homeowners, right? But, the ones who may be suffering with their mortgage based on the fact that they can't even evict a tenant who's unable to pay, right? And so I think it answers a lot of questions for those living in the United States who just haven't had any answers in a year.
Yeah, absolutely. Sunday,
Mm-hmm.
what information can we gather from this bill that will directly affect immigrants? Could you sum up some ideas that immigrants would really benefit from?
Are we talking about undocumented or documented?
Undocumented.
For one, vaccine distribution, right? I think that
Right.
will benefit because it doesn't matter your status. You're eligible for vaccine distribution. And then I don't want to discount, and Miriam, you can add to this, those mixed households, right? Where we have, one person who's documented, one who's not. So they, dad might have been working in the farming industry, right? There's some
Right.
dollars in there that will go directly to farming. And even though the household is mixed, there is some funds coming in. So I don't want to discount that, Junior. So I think that's super positive. The restaurant industry, there's monies in here. I forgot the amount. I know some restaurants got money through PPP, but under this new bill, $28.6 billion is going to the restaurant industry. And when you think about it, that industry is heavily immigrant related. So, in a Jamaica, they say what fall off head, drop on shoulder. What
Yeah.
falls off the head, drop on the shoulder. So even though parts
Yeah.
of this bill might not be directly putting cash in the hands of undocumented individuals, I can't help but think that a propped up economy, get our restaurants open, getting people back to work. I'm even thinking about the dishwashers, the guy who's cutting the vegetable, the guy who's washing the plates. If that restaurant is open, if that restaurant gets a part of that $28.6 billion, then that person will no doubt, have a job.
Yeah, absolutely. Guys, we're taking your questions. If you have any questions as it relates to the bill that was signed earlier, or questions as it relates to your green card or citizenship, feel free to call us up The phone lines are open, and you could call us up at this number right here, 718-701-5720. That's 718-701-5720. Funny, let's talk about another big news item this week. The public charge rule.
Oh, Lord.
Dead.
Give me a little music, Junior. Give me a little, because this is...
Yes.
We need to jam to that one. We need to jam to that one. I ain't like, we need to jam to this one. Here we go. We get to jam to this one. Music.
Yeah. You gotta be firm in this time, son. You gotta be strong in this time, son. I'm a survivor. I will survive.
Oh, Lord of mercy.
That is so fitting. We survived this last year of the public charge.
We survived the public.
Man.
Oh, that was a nightmare. I'll let Miriam talk about the public charge, but that was just whenever you say, if you want an immigration lawyer to cringe, Junior, just go into their ears and say public charge or say 944. And I guarantee you they'll probably slap you. Like,
wow.
So that was a big news that came out of the Supreme Court.
Before you even explain about the public charge is dead, what is the public charge?
Yeah. So I think one thing that is, being that the public charge rule has been expanded, I think people forget that it's always been there. So public charge basically means someone who is likely to depend on public assistance, right? Cash assistance, SNAP benefits, which is food stamps, things like that. And so what happens is that when you're seeking permanent residency in the United States, your green card, the US is trying to figure out whether or not when you get here, you're going to try to depend on public assistance. And so they do this analysis about whether or not that's going to happen. So they look into possible finances that you'll have in the United States. And so historically, what we've done is you've had an affidavit of support, someone who could say, look, I'm sponsoring you. I have enough income. I meet the poverty guidelines. I can support you. I can support myself and any other dependents that I have. And that is the affidavit of support. So that's always been the case. You've always needed a sponsor when you've been usually your petitioner is your first sponsor. And then if you need others, you could have others. But under the Trump administration, he wanted to expand that, right? And for no other reason than to limit the amount of people who legally obtain their green card in the United States. So not only did he want to limit illegal immigration, but he wanted to limit legal immigration, not for everyone, mostly for people that look like us, of course. And so what ended up happening is that it was expanded and it included a lot more public benefits. So before there were certain benefits that weren't included in the public charge rule. So you could have Medicaid or Section 8 or something like that. But now sort of everything was included. Not only that, but having a financial sponsor was no longer enough. You needed to also complete this declaration of self-sufficiency. So the intending immigrant, the person who wants a green card, had to prove that they were self-sufficient, that they were going to be able to make enough money in the United States. And it became a wealth test, honestly. It became a point system, right? Do you speak English? Do you have a degree? Do you have health insurance here? And if you don't, do you have access to it almost immediately? What certifications do you have? Are you going to be able to find a job immediately? Like, these are all the things we had to submit for our clients. And it was a headache because they're asking about our clients' credit scores when they've never had a social before. I mean, it was absolutely ridiculous. And at this point, we're just happy that it's gone. And so it's going back to the old way. You still have to have a financial sponsor, but you don't need to show your own personal finances to prove that you're self-sufficient.
Yeah. Fonde, anything to add to that?
I think Miriam summed it up really well. And I think that was a misconception for the long time that the public charge doctrine was this new thing. It wasn't. And public charge is dead. In fact, the expanded version. But just to remind our audience, we still are going to need that affidavit of support. We're still going to look to the poverty guidelines for direction. So the expanded version, the frustrating part of it that the president has put in during his administration, that's gone. So that's very exciting, not only for practitioners, but I think for family members, because we would exhaust them saying, hey, go pull your credit report. And they're like, I don't have a credit report.
Yeah.
I'm like, post something to say you don't have one. How redundant is that?
Yeah.
That is like you're just
Proof.
making stuff up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to prove
So-
that something doesn't exist.
Yeah,
Like,
prove that it
how do you-
doesn't exist. How do you prove it doesn't exist? Right? It doesn't. So it's a lot of celebration. And,
Yeah.
you know, when it comes to the Supreme Court, I know a lot of us were concerned when so many conservative members, Junior, we went through this last year, watching those appointments, getting nervous as we talked about what does this mean for immigrants. And I think the court is standing on the right side of justice. They're being fair. I mean, even with the conservative appointments that we witnessed last year, I have to say that, you know, they've given us DACA. They've been giving us some positive things that are coming to them. So I think it's exciting.
Right. So in the past, right, Funde, Miriam, if you say, for instance, you had a situation that you were on public assistant, you were getting money, whatever type of public assistant, that made it difficult to get a green card?
So any means tested benefits, right? Any means tested benefits that you took advantage of could affect your ability to either sponsor someone or for you to move along in your immigration process. Because remember, they want under the affidavit of support, they want to be able to show that, look, if you come into the United States, you are able to financially take care of yourself. And the way they ascertain that, Junior, was through what we call the affidavit of support. So if you're collecting, for example, food stamps, or you're getting what we call means tested benefits, then it looks shaky, like you can't even afford to take care of yourself. How are you going to sponsor somebody? That is why in our community, you would hear people say, let me go get a co-sponsor. Right. Because maybe they haven't been making enough money. They were able to do that. With public charge is going a lot deeper, where sometimes getting a co-sponsor doesn't solve the problem that you're having, whether you're under the poverty guidelines or you've collected means tested benefits. So this was just an expansion of that. And I remind people, the affidavits of supports are still in full swing. It's not like you're saying, I'm no longer going to submit an affidavit of support. I no longer have to meet the federal poverty guideline. That is still on the books. You still have to complete your affidavit of support.
And that is important there. But I just want to reiterate again the importance and the significance, I should say, about the public charge. And now the Biden administration is no longer going to go ahead with that particular agenda item from the Trump administration. I want you to reiterate again, Deanna Winterfunde, for the folks of them that just joined us, the importance of that. One more time.
So the public charge doctrine, under its expanded form, what we saw under the Trump administration, for our community, if you have filed an adjustment of status application in the last, 6 months or so, or was it last year, about March, we saw this coming into play, where you had to fill out that lengthy document, the 944. If you're representing yourself or if you were working with an attorney, you heard us asking you for, education. Let me see your if you went to high school, I want to see those documents. Pull your credit reports. All of that expansion, that 944 document, you no longer have to submit. So when you hear somebody say public charge is dead, it's because of that extension that we saw under the former administration.
All right, good. Geraldine has a question. She says, is a health emergency the public charge? Is health emergency the public charge is null and void when it pertains to life and death human rights? I'm not sure if you understand the question. Sorry, let me put it back up.
In health emergencies, a public charge is null and void when it pertains to life and death human rights. I'm not sure. Miriam, you understand that question?
I'm not sure. I don't know, Geraldine, if you're talking about like emergency, like Medicaid or something, if it's between life and death and you need some sort of Medicaid or something like that. No, that wouldn't affect you.
How about this? What if you came to the US and you had a child, right? You had a child you gave birth here and you couldn't pay the bill,
Mhm.
right?
Mm.
Is that a public charge, or is that seen as a public charge?
Go ahead, Miriam, and I'll add where I've seen this hurt my clients.
Yeah, I think it can be if you're unable to support yourself here in the United States, if you don't have the funds to take care of, because when you come as a visitor or on any other visa, they want to know that you have the funds here. If you have a medical emergency, if you need to get back home for a plane ticket, they want to know that you have those funds, and so they ask you for that information. And so if you're here as a visitor or under another visa, or you've become undocumented because your visa expired, I think it can hurt you if you have outstanding medical bills that you haven't paid.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So even though, so there are two questions, right? And we have to differentiate, Junior. The one question is, if I show up to a hospital, are they going to waive public charge doctrine at me? And the answer is no. Meaning if you're 8-9 months pregnant and you have to go to a hospital, of course, you it doesn't matter your status, they're going to admit you. Where it hurts you is if you go back to be processed for something. For example, I had a client who went back home to Jamaica and was renewing their visitor's visa. On the DS-160, they listed they had given birth in the United States, and the consular officer asked, who paid the hospital bill? How was it paid? Because as a visitor, you're not supposed to come into the United States and take advantage of these benefits and then turn your back and walk away from them. So can it hurt you? Yes, it can.
I see.
So that's things to think about.
So are there measures in place to avoid that? Avoid someone coming into the US looking 9 months pregnant? Do immigration look at you in a kind of way and you look kind of pregnant there? You look kind of 9 months ish kind of way. Are they profiling people like that when they come into the US?
Well, we did the whole show, Junior, and Miriam, you can chime in. We did a whole show on birth tourism. It's a thing. It is an absolute thing. Women from the Middle East come in all the time to do it. It's an industry. I think I'm not going to say it's $1 billion industry, but people do make money from birth tourism. I've had clients that have been stopped at the port of entry and they have been questioned because them look nice on Fatan Roan. And the officers have asked, like, what's going on? And I've had clients where they take their passports and let them in because they were so far along in their pregnancy, and on their way out they have to pick up their passports and those visas have been canceled. So can the officer remember, Junior, when you're coming into the United States, you're knocking at the port of entry for admission. Mm-hmm. Searches and questioning, all kind of questions, everything is fair play. Everything is fair play. So birth tourism is a thing. And yes, the officer can ask you if you're pregnant or if you intend to get pregnant or how far along if they perceive that you're pregnant. I guess it would be kind of embarrassing if the woman is just simply full figured and an officer says, are you pregnant or not?
Yeah.
Right.
What are your thoughts, Miriam? I don't know. That's been my experience.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. And I think it also depends maybe where you're coming from. I think that there might be people from some countries that aren't questioned as much as others. And I think, if I'm being honest, I think people of color are, have a much harder time at the port of entry, especially in situations like that where they're pregnant, or because birth tourism, like you said, is a thing. And I remember seeing a documentary about Russian women who did that in their hotel of choice with the Trump, or they stayed at
the Trump
the Trump
Tower.
Yeah.
In Miami, yes.
Yeah, I heard about that.
It's a thing.
Wow. So guys, I'm happy about the public charge, because that was the people was getting chills thinking about it, and it makes it easier. And I'm happy. I'm very, very happy about it. That means that a lot more people who have been having these issues, it's one less thing for you guys to worry about, Funday.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah.
We're happy.
Lawyers are happy.
Absolutely.
You're all happy. All happy. Guys, we open up the phone lines if you want to call and ask your question. 718-701-5720. That's 718-701-5720. That's my number. Let's jump into another very important topic again, guys. I know you guys touched on it last week, but I wasn't here. So I want to refresh you on this. Violence Against Women Act, VAWA. Give me a refresher on that, Attorney Lacroix.
Sure, sure. So, as I said last week, I like to call it the self petition because it's the name is a little misleading, as not only women are eligible for this, but men and even children. And there are a bunch of immigration relief forms of relief that are available under this law or this law. So what I talked about last week was the self-petition, which is mainly for those who are married to U.S. citizens or lawful permanent residents, and through the course of their marriage have experienced some sort of abuse or extreme cruelty. And the purpose of this form of relief is so that men and women don't have to stay in relationships that are toxic, detrimental to them in order to stay in the country legally, right? They should be able to make police reports. They should be able to obtain their green card on their own. So it's a self-petition. You are able to petition for yourself if you meet certain criteria. So the first one I've already mentioned, your spouse has to be either a U.S. citizen or a lawful permanent resident. You had to experience some sort of abuse or extreme cruelty. And we talked a little bit about this last week, but extreme cruelty can be a lot of things, right? When we think about abuse, we always think of physical abuse, and that's not the only thing that's abuse, right? You think about control. You think about how your spouse makes you feel. Maybe they embarrass you in front of people. Maybe they make you feel bad about your education level or your immigration status. And so there are a lot of questions that you want to ask yourself when it comes to extreme cruelty. Another criteria is that you have to be living with your spouse or have lived with your spouse at some point through the course of your marriage. And your marriage had to have been bona fide. So it's not enough to have a marriage certificate. You have to prove the same things that you'd have to prove if you were getting your green card with your spouse. You have to prove that you planned to build a life together, and that's why you got married. And then finally, you have to show that you're a person of good moral character, right? If you have any criminal history, you can explain that, and if you don't, even better.
Right. I find it very interesting when you said about self-petition. But what I've also seen about this violence against women is that it seems as it's a loophole, because I've heard of situations where people took advantage of that and did a scrupulous thing. Some people don't even know what is the process that they're going through, but someone filed an application for them and they never knew that they were abused. They don't even know what happened. So a lot of people are taking advantage of it. Some people are seeing it as a loophole in the immigration system.
Yeah. People are taking advantage of it because what happens is in the process, you can obtain, if you've never had it before, this is exciting for people, work authorization and maybe even a travel document, social security card. And so what happens is people are able to get that in the meantime before they have to go ahead and adjudicate that green card application. So they're sort of sitting pretty for a while, right? It takes 2 years now to get your green card through any process that I've done so far. And so, within that time that you're waiting, you can work, you can sort of live your life. And so it's attractive to people, and it's a loophole until USCIS gets to that part of your application and realizes, wait, you're not actually eligible for this, right? And sometimes that's sooner than later, and sometimes it's later on down the line. And it leads to a denial of your green card application, which could lead to you being in deportation proceedings.
Right. Fonda, anything else you want to add to that?
Yeah, I do. This is one area of the law that is highly abused. So you'll find a lot of people taking advantage because, like Miriam said, you get a work authorization, you get to travel. And I also, this is like one of those things, the wages of sin is death, because a lot of times, if that is a fraudulent application, you can find yourself being placed in removal proceedings, right? So it's like, my caution would be, if you don't have I've seen people file these, Junior, and don't even know if they have a husband or not.
Yeah.
Like I've spoken to people that have come out of, they've gotten a letter to go to court, and I'm like, all right, let's prove that you filed this application with the service and that you were married. There's no husband involved. How can you file for a benefit when you don't even know the first step in qualifying for that benefit? Yeah. So I would just add, if it's too good to be true, and I know this comes out of our community a lot, where they just want to get that little work authorization so they can work and earn a couple dollars. And so I think our community is more vulnerable. And when I've spoken to people, I think honestly, they didn't know what they were doing, Junior. And that really frustrates me. They go to somebody who is super unscrupulous, and they didn't know. They're like, they told me to bring $1,700 and I should sign X, Y, and Z. And I got my work authorization. And every year I go back and I renew this thing. And all of a sudden now I have a letter from the service saying I found, and they honestly didn't know what they were doing. So it's a very highly abusive area of immigration law.
But whether you know or claim that you know or don't know, ignorance of the law is not an excuse anyway. So it still could come along and bite you.
Yes, it can. And of course, we'll make arguments in court and try to kind of backpedal a little bit. But your hand is still in the fire.
Yeah, people should remember that even if you have an advocate, even if you have a representative, they are speaking for you. So whatever they file on your behalf, it's you filing, right? It doesn't, that's exactly what the court is going to say. That's what they're going to look at. They still see your signature on the paperwork. So review everything that is filed on your behalf that you sign.
Yeah, that's very important. Just got a question that came in on the WhatsApp. Someone wanted to know, hey, Junior, I'm listening to your program. Something I wanted to find out, if someone is not documented but paying tax and also have a saving account at a bank, where do they start to get any help from the stimulus? We spoke about that kind of briefly at the top. I guess she just tuned in. I don't know if you want to just give her a little information on that again. She said she has a bank account, so she probably have an EIN number, and we spoke about this. Now she wants to get the stimulus check. Yeah, that's a question.
So I don't want to overspeak, but I think if you have an ITIN, it'll be an automatic drop in your bank account. But I do not want to overspeak. So long as you have like a social security number or an ITIN, chances are likely that you'll be getting that check from the government, $1,400 per person if you make $75,000 or less, or if you're a couple, $150,000?
Yep.
Yeah.
And then above that, it starts going down. But I do not want to overspeak.
Right. So we're going to follow up on that. The next question here from Geraldine. She said, does VAWA protect same-sex couples?
100%. It does. VAWA protects women, protects men, protects same-sex couples, protects children, even abused parents from their children, right? Abused parents can self-petition. So VAWA protects everyone. Right.
Okay. Legally, and I'm not talking about all the loopholes that exist and people who take advantage of the situation. How does someone legally start the process with you or Funde in starting a VAWA application? What's the first step?
So the first step, it depends on where they're at in their immigration process, right? So if they've already started, right? If that spouse has already filed paperwork for them, filed the green card application, everything, and now they're just waiting on an answer, and then something happened in the relationship where you had to get out, where you would start is one, trying to figure out what's happening with your green card application. If it's at a field office, and if it is, you want to be contacting that field office to let them know, look, we're filing a VAWA application. Can you hold our green card application until the VAWA application is approved, right? And so that is something that I have to do very often, because often people come to me even after an interview has already been scheduled, and I have to go with them to the interview and explain, hey, this is the process we're taking. Please hold the green card application so that when the VAWA is approved, we can just come back on that same green card application and the client can be interviewed. The other way that we get started is for those who haven't started any part of the process yet. Their spouse hasn't petitioned for them. Usually it's the spouse holding it over. Like, if you do this for me, then I'll start the process. And then it's years of, I'm gonna start. And at that point, we do everything from the beginning. We file the VAWA and we file the green card application all together. So I hope that answers your question.
Yeah. Funde, want to add anything?
No, that's about right. It really depends where they are in the process. So Miriam, I second that. What I would say at this point, for anybody who's in any kind of abusive relationship, start, put together your little escape file. Whether it's a copy of the person's birth certificate, a copy if they're naturalized citizen, grab things that you need that can help make your case. Yeah. I see a lot of times women or men have exited the relationship and they have nothing. They have no documents. It makes it really hard for us as attorneys. So you can even create an electronic file where you're emailing documents to yourself or to someone you trust. So make that a part of your exit plan. Like, if you know he's been threatening, he's taken the passport, he's taken your phone, you can't even call your parents, just start documenting. On March 3rd, this happened. June 12th, this happened. So you have these concrete facts, because when I'm doing VAWA applications, and I'm sure Miriam does too, I do what we call personal statements. And we want to be able to document what's been going on, especially, Junior, in cases where we have no physical abuse, because it's not only physical abuse. So we want to be able to document what's going on in this relationship. And, I love when women or men have kind of their exit file. Like, it has a lot of good stuff in it. It makes our job that much easier.
Yeah, absolutely. Guys, again, we're here to empower the community with information. These two professional attorneys right here, they dedicate their time in helping our community, and they dedicate their hour to giving you guys information. So we want you guys to take advantage of that opportunity, giving you a last opportunity to ask your question here on the line. Free consultation in this program right now. So if you have a question, you have about 5 more minutes to call in. The number that you call is 718-701-5720, or you could text it in right there. I'll read it out, or you could WhatsApp it. If you're in Grenada, in the Caribbean, in Trinidad, Jamaica, Haiti, whatever, you could also call us on WhatsApp. The number right there, 718-701-5720. So far, we spoke about one. We have the $1.9 trillion bill that was signed today. We also talk about public charge is dead, and now we're talking about Violence Against Women Act. And we always, guys, always ask you, if you're gonna do something as important as getting your document, getting your papers together, use a immigration attorney. Yes, this is not like going and buying mangoes in the market. It's professional. It's true. Yeah, you know what I mean? You have to get it's important that you contact the people that have the right tools. You know, to come and fix your roof. You know what I mean? Come on, you gotta use the stuff.
It's that simple.
It's that simple. You know what I mean? Let me see if we have another question right here. Hey,
Hermie.
Yeah. Hermie has this group, the Caribbean American Survivor Empowerment Group. You could join her group over there. If you are in any kind of abusive relationship, Hermie would help you out. And Hermie has linked with Funde, and they all linked up so they can help you with all immigration matters as well.
And I love what Hermie says. Junior, can you put Hermie back up 1 second before Fabi? She has an escape file that she creates where if you join her group, she'll tell you what you need to know to help you plan your escape. Hermie, I want to commend you for all the work you're doing with victims of domestic violence, especially our Caribbean women. So I really do want to highlight you and applaud you for doing that, especially during Women's History Month. So hats off to you, Hermie.
Right.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
Yes.
and you're getting rave reviews, Miriam.
Oh.
Yes, I saw that from Fabi.
Yeah,
Thanks, Fabi.
and you're doing a great job. And, I like when we have situations like this when we could take care of our own. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
People
Yeah.
who have immigration problems, we have immigration lawyers that could deal with it. This is I love this. I really, really love this. And I know you guys work really, really hard night and day. The Funday don't sleep, by the way. She takes like
I'll
Oh, I
text
believe
Junior
it.
at midnight. I'm
You
like,
know,
Junior, what do you think about this?
yeah, I mean that's the facts, you know what I mean? All to help in our community, which is
Yeah.
absolutely great, absolutely great. Guys, it's about the wind down time. Any last words, any last thought that you want to say before we wrap it up?
And then I'll yield to Miriam, but I just want to thank her for coming on the show. She was here last week. She's back this week, and it's a selfless act as attorneys. You got to get dressed, you got to put on face, you got to change. I know what goes into preparing for this show, and Miriam has been here second week in a row and has been super, super graceful. So I do really want to extend a warm thank you to her, and for all the women in the audience. It's Women's History Month. How are you celebrating? Where are we vibing at? Where we're vibing at? What's going on? So that's how I want to end. And they all know where to find me, Junior, if they need help.
Yeah, of course, 813-815-3529. That's if you want to contact Funday. Check out online. I want you to book your consultation online. Funday, give them the website again.
I think I'm going to graciously pass the baton to Miriam this week, right?
Oh,
I
thank
want them
you.
to book. I want them to book with her because she has graciously given off her time. And myself or Miriam, I wouldn't bring Miriam onto the show if I didn't think she was genuine and knowledgeable enough. So I want Miriam to go ahead, and if somebody is interested in using an immigration lawyer, I'm going to pass the offering plate. I'm in church. I'm going to pass the offering plate to Miriam on this one. So Miriam, you can go ahead
Yes.
and let our audience know how to get a hold of you.
Absolutely. And before I do that, I just want to say thank you to the both of you for having me on your show, giving me this platform to talk about myself and my practice and what I do. I absolutely enjoy doing every bit of what I do as an immigration lawyer. And, we complained a little bit about the public charge rule and that it was a pain for us. But you know what? We stuck through it because this is just our passion. And so I'm so grateful to be here. And I jump at the opportunity to come back if you ever wanted me to come back again. But I can be reached. My website is mlacroixlaw.com, and it's just M for my first initial, my last name, law.com. You can reach out to me there so that I can get you booked for a consultation. And my phone number is 914-368-3550. I'm on WhatsApp, regular text. You can call or text me, and I'll reach back out to you when I can.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much. We appreciate you, ladies, a whole lot. Thanks. And guys, again, if you need any immigration assistance, we encourage you, we beg, we plead to use our professional attorneys as recommended here on Right Along. All right, guys.
Hey.
Funday and Miriam Lacroix. Yeah, man. Funday, too much. Funday, did I tell you that next week I am going on a vacation?
Where are you going, Junior? I think you deserve it.
I'm going to Aruba. I'll be in Aruba.
Wow.
Shut the front door. Where are you staying?
And every 2 weeks after that, I'm taking a vacation.
Junior, where in Aruba are you staying?
I don't
amazing.
I don't know the place yet.
Stay at the Renaissance. You're gonna love Aruba. Make sure you do the
I've been there already.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I love Aruba.
I love Aruba.
I love it.
Love it.
So I plan to go next week. I'll be in Aruba. The 2 weeks after that, I'm going to Jamaica. 2 weeks after that, I'm going to Grenada. And I am just for the next 2 months or so. Every week, I'm going to be someplace. Yeah,
love it.
It's gonna go.
Do it, Junior. Do it.
Yeah,
do it. Do it.
Yes.
Thank you so much, ladies. It's always a pleasure having you on board.
Thank you.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye, everybody. Thank you, Junior.
All right, bye-bye.
can hold me, man. Nobody
Yeah, guys, listen, life too short, Jed. Life too short. Yeah, this experience taught me that life is too short. Have fun. Do everything that you want to do. Don't leave it for next day or next week. No. Do it now. Do it now. Waste no time. I want to go St. Vincent. Yeah, I want to take a trip down to St. Vincent. I'm going everywhere. I'll be everywhere. In fact, if you guys are on an island right now, and you guys want, well, just send me an invite. I'm coming. Lynn, pack your bags, baby. We're going someplace. Thank you guys so much again. Catch you guys later. Thank you guys for the week. It's been an amazing week. Came back on Monday in full effect and loving it. It's like a new life. Trust me. If for what I've been through 2 weeks ago, it's like a whole new outlook on life for me. Really, seriously. So, just so happy, right? Happy to be here. Happy to be alive. Thank you guys. Ghana. Yeah, man. Yeah, why not? Peace out, guys. Catch me again tomorrow where we have Right Trivia right here on Right Along Live. Don't move again, guys. Yeah, but don't move. We have a commercial break. We'll be right back.
Come on, this is your opportunity to tap into the $7.3 trillion industry in this COVID time. Get interactive, hands-on in the Forex and crypto market. Educate yourself in this financial industry. All of this is possible right now with a multi-source income generator. This program will allow you to learn while you earn in this lucrative decentralized industry. Take advantage of this trading academy, personal development, create multi-source stream income, trading ideas in this global market, get discount travel with your own portal, bonus token backed by bitcoins, and so much more. For more information, contact Kristen Alexis at 347-834-2852 or Marisha Dash at 646-529-6570. Don't miss out on this amazing opportunity of a lifetime. Call now. Hey, I got some good news for you. Looking for a passionate immigration lawyer with experience that spans over 2 decades? Someone trusted that serves immigrant families just like yours? Well, look no more. Now you can benefit from her personal and professional experience. Diane Winter Funde. Schedule a consultation now and get assistance with your immigration journey. Specialize in adjustment of status, B1 business visa, B2 visitor's visa, consular processing, deportation defense, naturalization, and more. Give us a call today at 813-815-3529. That's 813-815-3529 or online at winterimmigration.com. Attorney Diane Winter Funde. Law done differently. What you do makes a difference, and you get to decide what difference you make.
In 2020, I was nominated for the Carlino Award, which is the award for advocacy. It just ballooned from there. I decided to become an ambassador for my area, and my goal with that relationship was to build a relationship with my my local politicians here and the ones that represent in Washington, to let them know what was happening with Alzheimer's, give them information, let them know that we need their support and so forth. It just opened a whole new world of people to network with and people who felt as passionate as I did about this cause, and I still do to this day.
All Pro Health Staffing, www.allprony.com.
Feeling hungry, grab a snack. Caribbean food delight. Jamaican patties,